So I'm sitting here and I'm hearing voices. Like, is Tom talking? Is somebody out there talking? Like...
Yeah. So I thought I was about to scrap someone for like a split second, and then it stopped. So what happened was I'm walking back.
Yeah.
In my yard.
Yes.
And I hear behind me, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir." And I'm like,
oh shit.
I'm like, am I hearing something? So I stopped. I listened. I hear it again. I turned around, and then I hear it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Excuse me, something about, can you help me?" or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck? So I start walking towards the voice, and as I'm walking towards it, I see a light coming towards me, and I'm like, he's like, "Can you help me out real quick? Excuse me, sir." And I'm like, "Who are you?" He goes, I'm a DoorDash. I'm like, "Oh." Okay. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we're good now. For a second, I'm like, I'm about to fucking get into it, probably. Because I'm like, what the fuck is it? Excuse me. Because they asked me a question. That's what it was. I think it was, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. And I'm like, the fuck? So, but once the dude said I was a DoorDash, I'm like, okay. And then then the funny thing was, he was like, he said the name, and I'm like, I looked in, and it's not my name.
Yeah.
It's not nobody who lives here.
Yeah.
But it's somebody that does live here who knows somebody. Right? So I'm like, okay, it's probably that person. And I told him, I was like, it's probably so-and-so.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And then we just stood there and looked at each other. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're good, man. I was like, yeah, you can just, he's like, so I can drop it off at the front porch. I'm like, yeah, you're good. And he just stood there.
Like, it's your place. Like,
and it's my place. Well, because he asked the address. Once he said it's DoorDash, he asked the address.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's this place.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's this place.
Yeah.
And then fucking stood there, and I'm like, well, I can walk you around. I'm like, where you going? He's like, no. He's like, it's all right. He's like, it's all right. I'm a hunter. I know my way around. I'm a hunter. I'm like, all right, cool.
Good
like,
night.
just, there you go. But at first I thought I was going to scrap. And then when I saw him in the light, though, he looked kind of beefy. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, this might be a challenge.
I would have heard it and then freaked out. Oh, my God.
He did seem kind of dumb. But he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to
rob me. So you felt like you could take him after you got to know him.
No, I think it'd be a good fight. And it looked like he had some strength on him. So he might have got me. And I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So there, I'm downfall number one.
Yeah.
He's working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at first I thought it was like some crackhead.
Oh, yeah.
Like just passing by. And I'm like, what
are you doing on my property?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is someone really coming down my fucking down here right now?
Yeah.
Because I was coming up to the porch and they were coming to like the back of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this really fucking happening? Because you have to take that in your mind first.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, this is really happening? But once he's like, I'm DoorDash. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was like, thank God I ain't got to fight nobody.
Yeah.
Because that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Night been ruined.
Yeah. Fucking. Yeah. I don't even know if I would have understood what was happening. I did hear a conversation though. So
yeah,
like,
no, he was all right. He was just asking. He was asking who it was.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, because I told him, I'm like, man. I was like, I didn't. He was like, I'm sorry. He apologized a couple times. I'm like, it's all good, man. I was like, I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. That's what I told him. I was like, I don't know what the fuck, you know? I mean, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah. Well.
That's him right now calling the cops on me.
Oh, shit. You know, I was like, You just led him to somebody's house where he robbed it.
I'd be fucked up. No, it's my house.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, fuck.
No, but he was like, he said, I'm going to just put it on your porch and take a picture of it. Then I'm like, cool, man. I'm out. And I'm running like kind of fast. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. I got to tell Joe about this. So he probably thought, like, as I'm going away, he's like, this fucking bitch. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get back to my podcast. He has no idea I'm podcasting out here. You know what I mean? He has no idea. He walked upon a podcast. Yeah. I'm someone who went to my house to get a fucking beer, and I'm coming back
to talk about it.
And you're like, I see a flashlight in the backyard. What a great idea. This is a concealed carry state.
Oh, fuck.
If I was a fucking law-abiding citizen, I'd be packing. But I wasn't. Because I'm not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately.
No, it's good.
I get it.
Because I would have shot first then. I'd be like, shit! Pow, pow, pow!
I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what just happened? I'm like, I think it's cute. He's like, DoorDash. DoorDash. And I'm like, fuck.
I feared for my life.
Yeah. I thought it was some guy. It was some guy.
Oh, fuck. That's funny.
But what cracked me up was on the way back, I'm like, and Joe made fun of me for werewolves being out there. Because I was like, what if there's werewolves out here? And she was like, there's no fucking werewolves.
But there is a guy.
There was a guy. I was like, same thing, Joe. You should have seen this guy. He was a werewolf.
Oh, fuck.
Short. I can only take like a minute, 5 max. Like, hey guys! They're like,
That's a short.
shit talking on our ass. How drunk are these guys? They were like, fuck this.
That's a short.
Check us out every week on YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook,
and Spotify.
Oh shit!
That's short.
You guys have a good time. See you later.
What the fuck was that?